Hi, welcome. We're going. Yep. Hi, welcome to SPR Sports Picks. My name is Peter Loshak. His name is Jimmy the Bag. This is Loshak in the Bag show for Wednesday, February 21st, the 6 o'clock. Sorry, not 6 o'clock. What the fuck? Oh, 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock edition of the show. Things are going pretty well. I think overall, though, you are coming off a bad day in NHL, right?
Very bad
day. But I'm killing it. I don't know if you noticed, but I am killing it in my Olympics picks. Jimmy the Bag, and as usual, even with the leans, right? We said yesterday that Lindsey Vonn was probably a bad bet to win another medal, and she did in fact wind up losing. All right, let's see. I forgot to get my hat. I'm friggin' in a rush here. College basketball going pretty well. I had a pretty decent day yesterday, and I have a lot of picks today for college basketball that I bet on the overnight lines. As usual, some went in my favor, some went against me, but I'm feeling pretty good about it. And let's get right into it, Jimmy the Bag. How about that?
Let's do it.
How about that, Jimmy the Bag? Okay, we are going to start with the Olympics. That is the first segment. And Juanma, I did send over my Olympics record just because it's starting to look at that, Jimmy the Bag. Look at that, 5-3. Up a few units yesterday. When I was put on the spot, I had for that free play, I gave the Sweden -1.5 line, and that one lost. But I'm telling you, Jim, everything else cashed. Also in my over in the NHL game, in the Czech USA hockey game. That one cashed. I told you that Korea was a big underdog. It was a good bet as an underdog against Japan. They won. I think the over went over in the Great Britain USA game, and I said again, I didn't understand why USA was a big underdog there. They won. I'm pretty much killing it in Olympics so far, Jimmy the Bag.
I love it.
All right, so of course there is a huge game showdown, Jimmy the Bag, hockey, right? Canada, women's hockey, Canada and the USA, huge rivalry going back years and years and years. You know about this, Jim?
I know about this rivalry very well, yes.
Yes. And in Sochi, last time around, the USA was up pretty big, and then Canada came back and scored a bunch of goals late, and it went to overtime, and then they stole it. It broke their hearts, Jimmy the Bag. It broke all their hearts.
It did.
Supposedly, the U.S. wants revenge here. They did play once in the preliminary rounds, and Canada won 2-1, but I'm thinking the over is a good bet right now, Jim. It's 4 -133. I bet it at slightly better odds earlier on the overnight line. Both teams, of course, scored 5 goals in their last games. They won 5-0 shutouts. They're both focused on getting good chances and on getting production offensively, and I think we're going to see that here. You know, a lot of times these teams, when they meet up, play pretty tight, Jimmy the Bag. But I'm thinking the over is a good bet here. It's a little bit worse than the line that I bet it at, but I will make that one an official pick. Canada, USA, women's hockey goes tonight over 4 -133. That is the current line at Pinnacle. What do you think about that, Jimmy the Bag?
I think it's interesting, man. You know, I have not studied this game, but
yes.
I know of the history, and it's a big game. It means a lot to our country. I know it doesn't mean shit to America.
Uh-oh. Al Mack says, Pete, stay off the over, buddy. It's a championship game. It's going to be 1-0 or 2-1. Yes, it might be, but I know that both teams are working offensively right now, and they're both focused on creating better scoring chances for themselves. They know that that's something that they're going to have to do, and based on the research that I've done, 4 is a low total. I'm taking the over, Jim.
If you're just looking at history, that's a difficult spot that you're in because yes, they often go very, very low scoring. They're but I can understand your angle. But I would, if I had a lean, I would lean towards where Al Mack is. We've seen this time and time again when they play in the gold medal games or in the most important games of the year. It's very tight and low scoring.
Al Mack, is it 4 or 4.5? No, it is 4. It is 4 -133, and I did bet it at a better line. I think I got it at 123 or something like that. So you're right. Championship games are often unpredictable, and more often than not tend to be lower scoring than higher scoring, right, Jimmy the Bag? But I'm going to take a shot with the Al Mac. My picks are Canada regulation, and he likes the under at 4.5 goals. I'm not seeing 4.5 anywhere. Pinnacle has 4 that I'm seeing, but I'm sure some 4.5s do exist. And the big question is on the money line: who's more likely to win, the USA or Canada? Now, I bet the USA when it was a lot lower than it is right now at around -140. Money is coming in on USA. They're now up to -165. Jimmy the Bag.
Wow.
Now, in their, Canada sort of didn't quite dominate as much as they should have in their game leading up to this. And in the preliminary game, most people think that the U.S. outplayed Canada, even though Canada won.
Yes, USA outshot them badly.
Yeah. And there is revenge here, although they also met in Tampa earlier this year, and the U.S. got a dominant win in that one. So maybe they got a little bit of their revenge out on that in that situation. I don't know. I'm thinking that the U.S. should be the favorite here, but as the line creeps up, I'm just not sure. I mean, Canada obviously is great. You know what I'm saying? Canada tends to have more of a team-oriented game, and the U.S. women have more of a skill-oriented game, an individual skill-oriented game. So I was going to come in here and give the U.S. as a pick, but now that it's up to the 160s, I just can't quite do it. Anything can happen here. I think the U.S. Should be the favorite, but at -163, I can't do it. I will take the over 4 -133, going head-to-head against Al Mac, who's on the under at 4.5. Jimmy the Bag. What do you think about that?
It's really not fair for me to really. All I know is the history of these gold medal games and these world championships between the two countries, and so it's really not fair for me to even drop a lean after not studying it.
Well, no, but how does my analysis sound? Does it sound confident? Does it sound like it makes sense? Or does it sound like I might be on the wrong side of this shit?
You sound confident. It's just time in and time out when these teams play for it all. It's just a tight checking, low scoring affair.
It is.
But
I know.
But getting it at 4 is a great spot, because if it is 2-1 with an empty netter or a late goal with the extra attacker, both sides will work in your favor.
Yep.
So I get it.
All right, so Al Mac is going against me. Al Mac says here he also had the over 4.5 in the Czech USA game. So Al Mac and I tend to be on the same side in these hockey games. So we're going to go head to head in the on the total here. And Al Mac also likes Canada, which I guess Al Mac says I agree. Canada rolls tonight. I mean, I was thinking that that the USA was going to be a pick of mine, but now that it's up into the -160s, I'm going to wait. And of course tonight there will be hopefully some other curling bets that I'll be able to give. I'm doing well in curling, Jim.
Yeah, you are.
All the underdogs are cashing except for the Garlic girls in women's curling. They are just dominating game in and game out, winning by margins, not 2 or 3 points, by 6 or 7 or 8, dominating everyone. Jimmy the Bag.
Man, it makes me want to get my own broom.
Quite a story. Dan Kelly says, Pete sounds confident. Someone that doesn't know shit about it. And Pete, name me one player on either team. Dan Kelly's the guy who said that the value evaporates in Olympics odds, but we were dead on that Lindsey Vonn was a good fade, that the field was good to bet against Lindsey Vonn. And at the end of our last show, the line was just climbing up. At the end of the last show, we were talking about how we wanted to take the field over Lindsey Vonn. It was -140 for Lindsey, plus 115 at the end of last show. I don't know where it closed, but that was pretty clear value for pretty clear reasons. Other people in the chat agreed with that, and everyone was saying that Lindsey Vonn was a good fade. A bunch of people did bet it. I bet it. I bet the field, and that one did cash. Jimmy the Bag.
Yeah, no, I saw her sobbing after the show.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, all right. So and then we'll talk about college basketball in a second. Let's move on to NHL. It's going to be a bounce back day for both of us, Jim. We only have 3 games on the card. Let's throw the record up. Let's throw the NHL record up. Jim, you're up. You're still in the mid-20s. But yesterday was a tough day. There were a lot of puck lines that you had where they won the money line but lost the puck line, right, Jim?
Yeah, Vancouver was up 4-1 in the third period. And I tell you what, without Johnson playing 25 minutes a game, I'm going to take the over on every Colorado Avalanche game from here on in. I bet you I hit over 60%.
You think so, huh? Yeah. I was thinking about it over in that one. All right, so we got 3 games on the card today. I guess let's start with Chicago, Ottawa, right? Chicago, of course, bunch of losses in a row. Then that one huge win, came back and got beat by L.A. Was that one of your picks, Jim?
Chicago, L.A. No, I had the under. Well, I had the under.
And I had the under on that one as well. So, Ottawa has no great shakes, and obviously on the road they have struggled recently, but should Chicago be this big of a favorite over anyone, Jim?
Absolutely not. Brian S. says, love the Ottawa Senators as a play tonight. I couldn't agree more. Alonzo Shivers says, Blackhawk puck line. You are getting some value on the Blackhawk puck line. But yes, I am on the Ottawa Senators tonight. How could you not take them with this number? It just makes sense. You're just getting tons of value here. Senators coming off 5-2 loss at Nashville on Monday night. They actually didn't play that bad. Mike Condon is expected to make the start tonight, which I don't like. He's been absolutely terrible. I'm surprised he continues to get opportunities. He's 4-10-4 with 3.40 goals against average, .898 save percentage. The only time these teams met this year was in the 8-2 Blackhawk win in Ottawa. Pat Kane had a goal and 4 assists in that game. Mark Stone's the only Senator who can feel good about himself. You know, he's playing great. Everyone else playing terrible. Carlson's won 2 Norris trophies. He's a -27. Senators are 7-17-4 on the road, but they're 6-4-0 over their last 10, and they are playing better. Chicago is 1-8-1 over their past 10. They're playing awful. Why did they bring back a way past his prime Patrick Sharp? He has 16 points in 51 games, 0 power play goals. This is one of the worst power plays in the league. It's why did they trade Artemi Panarin, who is electric offensively and magic with Patrick Kane? Want to talk about a vividness bias. Look at Blackhawk management. You know, we won with these players in the past, so let's bring them back. It's absolutely ridiculous. They should all be fired. Brandon Sayad, 36-year-old Sharp, ridiculous. Keith is 34, Seabrook's 32. You think they can still play 30 minutes a game? This is just bad management. Now Quenneville will get fired because of this. Forsberg is a tiny bit better than Condon, a tiny bit better. Almax says, Jimmy, if there's a sense trade today, I would stay off of it. I've already sent it in because I thought, how could I not with this line right now? Even at Bet365, which usually gives worse odds, I got plus 160. Blackhawks are just 13-14-3 at home. I tell you what, there's 2 dogs on this card, Ottawa and Calgary, and I'm taking them both, starting with Ottawa.
All right. SM says Condon is in goal. He has a .900 save percentage, 3.4 average in net. Chicago team total over might be a good play. Does the goalie announced here for Ottawa scare you, Jim?
Very much.
Yes.
Yeah,
but you're going to take it anyway. I'm
going to take it anyways because they've got Forsberg, and that's not like he's going up against Corey Crawford.
Sure. So what about the over in this one, Jim? How about that?
It makes sense, but I just don't trust this Blackhawks offense at all.
All right, the best line right now would be at let's see. Oh shit, it's not even.
SM says if you like Sens to win, play the 5.5 over. Hawks will score some, win or lose.
Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry. Everything's friggin' going wrong today. Everything's friggin' going wrong.
Money chart says Carlson may go. I would be shocked. I truly would be floored if they get rid of Carlson. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I would be absolutely stammered if that
All right,
happens.
so the best line is at Bet365 right now, plus 160, Jimmy the Bag.
Yeah, that's what I got it at when I sent it in. I'm surprised that they're not usually the book that gives you the best line.
And you don't necessarily like the over here at 6 across the board. What do you think about that, Jim?
I definitely don't. No.
Why not? Even though it concerns you, Ottawa's goalie. And
just because I don't trust Blackhawks' offense, I don't trust them. But I mean, a gun to my head. I don't even know if I could take it with a gun to my head.
Right. I hear you, Jim. All right, now let's move on to the next interesting game on the card: Calgary and Vegas. Vegas, of course, off of a loss. Right? Jimmy and I both had that one. Jimmy had them on the full game. I had them on the first period, Anaheim. And now is Vegas in a bounce-back spot? Calgary is certainly beatable, but they've had their wins recently. They're not a pushover. And as expected, Vegas is a big home favorite. What do you think, Jim?
The only thing I don't like about the Flames here is they're on the mom's trip. We've not seen that be successful for any of these teams. But I'm telling you what, do the Knights look susceptible? Yes. Does it look like they might have their first losing a tough time of the whole season? Yes. Are we going to get value fading them? Yes.
Probably.
Flames begin to stretch of 7 of their next 9 games on the road, where they played much better. 17-7-5 on the road, 5-4-1 over the last 10. First 2 games of the trip, moms are there. First time these two teams met, the Knights were losing, and then they flashed their magic. How many? Alonzo Shiver says Vegas puck line, low-hanging fruit. I couldn't disagree with you more, Alonzo. We're on the other side of both these games.
And here we go. Money chart says Calgary is great on the road, and that new goalie looked sharp against Boston.
Absolutely. All I have to do is hit one of the Flames or Ottawa to have a nice winning day. No, I think Calgary is the spot.
Wow.
I'm getting another big number. Remember in that Knights game versus the Flames were cruising. And then the Knights flashed their magic. And I forget who it was. Was it SM or Almac? I forget who it was that said, how many times can Vegas keep doing this? Keep digging themselves holes? I don't know if you remember, it was yesterday, I believe, or a couple days ago. Keep digging themselves these holes and getting out of it. Well, it's not going to continue, I don't think. And I love this.
Wow, you like Calgary on the money line, full game, huh?
Yep.
All right, best line right now would be plus 151 at BetOnline, sportsbetting.ag. You like that, Jim, huh?
I do, but I like it in unison with the Ottawa Senators. I mean, I really like this spot. Jeremy M says, I told Jimmy congrats on the Ducks win, but would be back on Vegas puck line come today. I get it, man. I get it. And you guys, it just is not going to last.
And what do you think? See, I was thinking about the under on this one. It is, it is 6 at most places. As Money Chart said, the Calgary, the new guy looked pretty good. And, Vegas can be a high-scoring team, but they're just 50-50 on totals at home. And I was thinking about a shot with the under here. What do you think about that, Jim?
What is the number?
6, and the under is about minus 123 would be the best line.
I like the number being at 6. I just don't like it at minus 123.
Right. Okay, now let's talk about Anaheim and Dallas. Anaheim, of course, coming back from a nice, successful road trip. A big under-trender on the year. All 4 of their road games went under. They won their last 3 games. Now they come home as just a small favorite against Dallas. Dallas, a much better rested team right now. But, obviously Dallas has a big home-road discrepancy. Not that good on the road. What do you think? I was thinking again here, a shot with the under. What do you think, Jim? I know Hiller's supposed to be in goal.
Miller's supposed to be in goal, and that makes me not want to. That takes me even off of the Ducks.
So you don't trust him at all right now?
No. Rem Mo says, surprise Pete isn't in Vegas hitting on these Flames moms.
There's an idea. Now there's an idea, right?
Stars are coming off an ugly 5-2 loss at San Jose. They were down 4-0 in the first period. Ben Bishop was pulled after allowing 4 goals on 5 shots first 13 and a half minutes. He will be back between the pipes this evening. I agree with that call by Hitchcock. Bishop is going to be their guy, and there's only about 20-odd games left in the NHL, and you can't have him get into a slump right now. You got to get him out of it immediately. The Stars continue to be a top-heavy team. They're getting Norris Trophy-type production from Klingberg. They got Ben Radulov and Seguin are playing great, and they've got little else other than Jan Krok on offense. Little else. 13-12-3 on the road, 6-4-0 over their last 10. Ducks are coming off a big 2-0 win in Vegas. Gibson left that game after the second period, listed as day-to-day with lower body injury. So this is the tricky spot, right? You have his replacement Ryan Miller, 7.45, 2.63 goals against average, 9.18 save percentage. Being spectacular at home, but the sample size is so small.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I mean, Gibson got hurt on that long road trip, so he's only played 4. He's 3-0-1 at home, 1.27 goals against average, 9.47 save percentage. But in February, he's looked susceptible. He's looked bad, 1-2-1, 4.01 goals against average, 8.93 save percentage. They have been allowing a ton of shots lately. That's another problem. Although Miller always used to claim he likes lots of shots, but they've allowed 38.8 shots a game over their 3-game winning streak. Getzlaf is in the midst of a tough stretch. 0 goals, 2 assists over his last 7 games. Now Getzlaf does so many other things on the ice, so he can still be immensely valuable. I think the Ducks are a better team than the Stars, but I won't. I'm not going to touch this game. Isan Zolvagari says Anaheim 6 unders in a row. Can this keep going? Arthur says Ducks under. Seriously likes the under.
Everyone likes the under, and you don't like the under just because of Miller.
That's right, yeah.
You don't think that just as a team they play great team defense and Miller should be good enough?
I don't. The way Miller's playing, I'm not going to put my money on him making a lot of saves. And I like the Ducks I like them. I think they're much better. Not much better. They're a better team than the Stars. I would take them in a 7-game series. Not with a ton of confidence, but I would take them. And Almac says I like the Ducks here.
Yeah.
Miller has played well in the second half. Look at his record the last 5 or 6 games, Al. It's not the way it seems. It's not been very good. Flipper says agree with Jimmy. Ottawa plus 165, Calgary plus 160. I think this is a wonderful place to be. I love being in this spot with these 2 dogs. I think it's great. I'm very comfortable with it.
And how about the Ducks team total under? Do you trust Bishop here? Mr. Cloudkick suggests maybe Ducks team total under.
Well, it's tough to take a guy after he allows 4 goals on 5 shots, but I guess that play does make sense.
Arthur Meade Jr. predicts 3-2 Anaheim in a shootout. Jake Block says under looks great in Anaheim. Stars tighten up after last game. You think the Stars are going to tighten up here? Well,
Hitchcock is that way.
Yeah,
he's an intense guy. He loves defensive hockey, and So I expect them to do that. Yes, I mean the under definitely makes sense. What's the line that you get on the under?
For the let me find it. For the Arizona, for the Calgary Vegas game. Hold on one second. I'm sorry, for Dallas Anaheim, it would be 5.5, just minus 109, just minus 109.
Yeah, I'm staying off this game.
Okay. All right. I'm going to stay off of the 3 NHL games for now. I'm going to watch and wait and think about what I want to do. Just 2 plays for you, Jim. Ottawa money line plus 160 and Calgary money line plus 151.
Yep.
That's it for you, Jimmy the Bag. All right, that's it for NHL, just 3 games. Now let's move on to college basketball. All right, Jimmy the Bag?
Let's do it.
Move on to college basketball. I guess we will throw up the record. I had a small winning day yesterday, and as per usual, left a ton of money on the table with all of my leans. The under did cash in the BC game. The under did cash in the it was close, but it cashed in the Michigan State game. I haven't had a chance to look at the totals from today's card, but I have hold on one second. Let me just refresh that. But I did look at all of the overnight lines on the spreads, and I did make a whole ton of bets, Jim. Some of these moved in my favor. Some of them moved against me. Some of them have not moved at all. Did you get a chance to look at any of these games, Jim?
Oh, yeah, I looked at a ton of them.
All right, let's go on down the line. The first bet that I made that moved against me, Jim, Providence. I did take Providence at minus 1.5, and now they're a dog. Pinnacle, they're now a dog, plus 1. Seton Hall, of course, coming off of a great win, but Providence, I feel, is a good enough team to be a good bet here to be more than a 50% chance of getting a win. But obviously, the market disagrees with me, at least as of now. Did you look at that game at all, Jim?
Sorry, I was going over some of these plays there.
Sure.
Oh, the Providence game. Yeah, the Providence game, I haven't capped it fully. I've capped a bunch of these games in entirety, but not that one. But my instinct was, man, Providence looks like they're in a nice spot here, so I could understand why you would take it, and I was surprised to see the money, the line change as well.
Money chart saying, Pete, I can make a 0.01 Bitcoin bet for you on any game you wish. I have a line on with CloudBet. Let me know and I'll make it happen. All right, I'll do that. We'll figure this out, money charts. We'll figure out how to make this happen. All right, let's see. So you have no opinion on this one, because I was thinking that I guess is someone out for Providence? I know they had some injury issues previously, but I thought that was all pretty much cleared up. It's just the Seton Hall a good team, right? But coming off a big win, and I feel like it's a letdown spot for them here. Obviously, that is not how the market is seeing this one. Let's see. Another bet that I made, I did take George Washington. I got him at minus 2.5. It's now up to 3.5 or 4. Maybe I should make a weak play here and go with a money line now that that's where the line is. I don't suppose you looked at that game, Jimmy the Bag.
No, I did not look at the George Washington game.
Okay, the George Washington game. I did bet him at minus 2.5. It's now, let's see, 3.5 or 4. Do I want to give that one on the spread at minus 3.5 or the money line? Let me just find out what the money lines are here. Yeah, the best one would be at UWager minus 165. All right, I'll do that. It's a little bit weak, but I will take that one. George Washington, instead of minus 3.5, I'll go to UWager and take the UWager money line here at minus 165 for George Washington. George Washington's definitely been turning things around recently. Richmond sluggish a little bit, and I think George Washington comes away with a win. Another interesting game, Michigan against Penn State. Michigan, a pretty impressive team, right? They're getting the most out of their players, but Penn State has definitely been winning and covering, and I did take Penn State at minus 3. That has now, it's right where it was. It's 2.5 or 3. Intertop says 2.5. What do you think? Do you think Penn State comes away with a win here? Do you look at this one, Jim?
I've looked at it a bit. It hasn't been capped in its entirety. I mean, it's a big game. It's tricky. It's a tricky spot. I'm not going to make any statements on it until I've finished everything. Okay, and here's a couple of plays that people are mentioning that I did bet. Greg Schneider likes Alabama plus 8 and Canisius minus 4. The Canisius game is interesting. I'm going to look into that one a little bit more. And actually, Jim, can I make a request? I've already looked at that game.
Oh, you have? Okay,
yes.
So we'll talk about that in a second. First, let's talk about the Alabama game, because I did bet that one at plus 7.5. Auburn, has some injuries. They're kind of in a down spot here, and Alabama playing very well. It is a rivalry, of course, Alabama and Auburn, and Alabama did win the first game, so presumably Auburn would love to get some revenge here, but I'm I'm not sure it's a good spot for them in terms of the schedule and in terms of their health right now. They're given a lot of points, and I did bet Alabama at 7.5. It's now up to 8 or 8.5, which has me concerned. Jim, did you look at this one?
I did, and I spoke with with my guys, with Twadi, with Max, with Dex Ross, with Jemai James. We talked about this game, and I made this bet. This is the only official bet I've already sent in.
Yeah.
At 8 plus 8, and as soon as I made it instantaneously, I could have got it at 8.5, of course. This is I'm surprised that the line has moved in this.
Yeah.
And the only thing I can think of is that Bryce Brown is playing.
Yeah.
But this guy is dealing with a foot injury, a serious foot injury. Not only is it affecting his shooting, he just went 3 for 16 from the field, 2 for 13 from 3 versus Gamecocks, but he's not even taking part in any running drills at practice. None. Only shooting drills. But that's not the only big injury. Auburn's coming off the 84-75 loss to South Carolina, where they lost Anthony McLemore for the season with an ankle injury. That's a huge loss. He has 73 of Auburn's 155 block shots this season. This line is so surprising to me. Surprising.
They might rally around that injury for one game, though. Maybe? No?
Well, they go as far as their three-point shooting takes them.
Right.
And if Bryce Brown is not getting the same lift off of his shots, I don't know. They went 5 for 27 from 3 versus South Carolina. Alabama's coming off an 81-71 loss at Kentucky on Saturday. So, yes, there's revenge in play because they stopped that 14-game winning streak on January 17th, Auburn's 14-game winning streak.
Yeah.
They did that without Colin Sexton. Mm-hmm. John Petty went off in that game. But this is a huge game for Alabama. Forget revenge. Alabama wins this game, they're in the tourney.
Yeah.
I think you could have gotten him at plus 400 just to win outright. Yeah. And that's a play that's interesting. But, man, I'm on Alabama here full game.
I don't get it. I'm on it as well. Both Jim and I are both going to be able to take plus 8.5. I bet this one at 7.5. And now you wager and the Greek both have 8.5. So we're both going to take this one, Jim. Alabama plus 8.5. Don't understand the line move. We'll see where it is at 6 o'clock Eastern time. But I'm in agreement with you. All right, shall we move on, Jim?
Yes. Bart Nelson says Alabama off a loss is a solid play. I think this is a really nice spot.
Yeah.
Jemiah come in, who we spoke already this morning, says Coach Avery talks like he has peanut butter in his mouth, but Bama will be ready. Plus 7.5, plus 8.5 is too much in a rivalry game. Yeah.
Why the line movement? I'm not exactly sure.
Hal Abraham says Alabama is already in the tourney, Jim. That's questionable.
I think the question is, are they going to come to play here? And I think they definitely will, right?
This is a huge game.
Huge game.
I see them as a bubble squad. I don't know about you.
Whether a bubble squad or not, are they going to come to play regardless? Of course they will, right?
Yeah, of course.
A huge game. All right, so let's move on to one other game that also took a move that I don't quite understand, and maybe I don't know if you looked at this one, but SMU at Eastern Carolina. I did have Eastern Carolina as a home underdog against UConn recently. That one was close. It was close, but it wound up cashing ultimately. And we know that SMU has a lot of injuries, right? They have a very short roster here. SMU, obviously the better team, but I bet East Carolina as a home dog of 7. And again, not quite. I'm a little bit concerned to see this line is now up to 8 market wide. Do you look at this game at all, Jim?
Not really, but I know these teams pretty well, and I will hammer this in entirety. But man, East Carolina is a very offensive team with little defense. SMU has a lot of skill, and they've handled the adversity of all the injuries very well. I can see why the line has moved. If you compare SMU and Connecticut,
right. It's a different situation. But still, you got East Carolina getting a ton of points here at home. I'm going to take it. I'm going to make this an official pick. We might be sitting here at 6 o'clock Eastern time. This line might be 9.5. Who the hell knows? But right now, it's 8 minus 103 at Pinnacle, and I'll take that one. East Carolina plus 8 minus 103. I can feel the comments right now. No, don't do it, Pete. Let's see the people saying, no, don't do it, Pete. Kobe Valentine, lean East Carolina. Okay, that's nice. Robbie Tagaloa says, I'm fading SMU and Minnesota for the rest of the season. That's nice. Yeah. Yep. Luke Charles says, I like under in the SMU game. I was actually thinking that as well, although I haven't had a chance to look at any of the totals. But yeah. Big L Corleone says, I like ECU at Kobe. Yeah. Everyone seems to be agreeing with me. Again, don't understand the line movement, but okay, we'll see. This is not the last we've seen of these line moves, right? A lot of times you do see U-shaped line moves, and as I've said many times, when there is that kind of line move that goes one way early and then late the other way, I definitely trust the late moves a lot more than the early moves. Jimmy the Bag.
Yeah, definitely. You have to. Elo Rodriguez likes first half East Carolina. Kobe's play of the day is Oklahoma State. I've heard a lot of people talking about Oklahoma State today, thinking that they're in a really nice spot. I haven't finished capping that game, but I have a ton of others here.
Oh, no. G-Money NHL Top Shelf. Is he just trolling me here? Or he says, no, Pete, like taking Habs game over yesterday. No. I assume he's talking about the Eastern Carolina bet, right?
Yeah.
On the other hand, Dark Kent says East Carolina +8. Good play, Pete. All right, so we will. Wow. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, we got a lot of comments coming in. All right, we'll get some more comments in the afternoon show, and we'll see what the line movement is. But let's move on. Let's see. All right. So you did look at the Canisius Niagara game already, Jim, right?
Oh yeah.
All right. So let's talk about this one. Obviously, Niagara beat Canisius pretty handily earlier this year. Canisius is a great team. I've been on them many times in recent weeks. But I was thinking that maybe Niagara, as a home dog here, getting quite disrespected. What do you think, Jim?
Well, I was thinking the same way and wanted to cap this game. Well, until I heard that the round table was all over Canisius. I read that here, and a lot of people think Canisius is the play of the day. That doesn't mean I'm going to go off of Niagara, but I didn't send it in before the show started, so I didn't like it that much. That game versus Canisius is a tough game to really get a lot of faith in. Niagara went 15 for 26 from 3 in that game.
Sure.
Now, they also out-rebounded Canisius 47-29. That's what they will be able to do again. They're much better rebounding squad. Niagara had a 4-game winning streak snap when they lost to Manhattan on Sunday. Niagara went just 5 from 20 from 3 and shot 41.5% from the field. Much like Auburn, Niagara goes as far as their 3-point shooting will take them. Canisius has had their 6-game winning streak snapped and 83-82 loss at division leader Ryder. It was a great game. Canisius is second in the conference. Niagara third. Canisius gets excellent distribution. That's the big issue. Isaiah Reese and Malik Johnson are both averaging 4.5 assists a game. I don't know another team in the country that can say that they've got two guys like that. I was on Niagara, but man, I got very uncomfortable. Oh, Hal Abrams says Matt Scott is out, and that might be that's funny that he's out because I don't think I have that on my injury report. Let me get there really quick. But I thought there was value +4, and with the round table and all these guys saying Canisius is a play of the day, certainly gives me pause.
Yes, play of the day. All right, so let me find some other plays that I bet. Let's see. Yeah, there's a bunch of them. One play that I did bet that has moved a little bit in my favor. I did take Air Force at +8.5 at home against San Diego State. That line is now down to 7.5 or 8. Jim, I know you've given a bunch of picks on Air Force games over the past few weeks. What do you have to say about that? I assume you didn't look at it, but
I haven't looked at the Air Force game yet. So,
but in general, what's your feeling on Air Force as a team? Good as a home dog? I mean, this year they have been good as a home dog.
They have been because they've been completely disrespected, but that is changing.
Yeah. They're still getting 8 points here against San Diego State, who's a good team, but not necessarily a juggernaut.
I'm going to need more time with this before I can back an Air Force play right now. San Diego State is,
an excellent team,
a much better team.
Yes.
But is this the right situation for Air Force to cover? I need more time before I do.
All right. For now, I will throw that one on there. I'll take it at +8 -106. That is that's the current line at Pinnacle. Air Force is clearly the worst team here, but I'm willing to take them at home as that big of an underdog. Another bet that I did make, I assume you didn't look at this game because it does involve San Jose State, even though Nevada is ranked. I took San Jose State. I got them at +22. The line is now down to 21 or 21.5. Did you look at that game at all?
Wow. No, I haven't got to the West Coast games, but and I will for sure. Wow, that's an exciting play.
Nevada is ranked. They've had a big injury, of course, and they got through it on the road. Now, though, they come back home. They're a huge favorite here. Nevada. They're a little bit shorthanded. I believe they're taking guys from the football team, right, and sticking them on the roster. And I think Nevada gets a win. I think they probably get a relatively comfortable and easy win. But will they be fully motivated to cover by more than 20 points? I'm not convinced of that. Is San Jose State going to come in here and try to give Nevada their best shot? I think they probably will.
Wow, that's an exciting play.
And I'm going to take it, Jimmy the Bag. I'm going to take it. I bet it at 22. It's now down to the best line to be +21.5 at the Greek -110. I can feel the comments coming in already. No, Pete, don't do it. Don't do it. Nevada will roll. They might roll. But I'm making this an official pick, 21.5 -110 at the Greek. Again, I bet it at 22, so nice to see the line moving come in my favor, right?
Ryan Money says, I go to San Jose State.
Don't ever put your money on them, please.
But Al Mack says, Pete, I like that San Jose State
Except
play.
that Al Mack doesn't go to San Jose State. How many times we've been in this spot, Jimmy the Bag? The guys who go to the schools, their opinions trump everyone.
Ryan Money says they will break your heart.
They will break your heart.
Flipper 13 like San Jose and Al Mack like San Jose. I mean, Del Kilted Chimp comes into San Jose plus the points. I mean, you're in good company. I mean, definitely. S.J. Shark Ruiz, you know, a guy from the area says San Jose covers first half, gets their ass kicked second half, pretty much being like that all season. That's a very interesting take. Robbie thinks it's too many points.
Yes, Big L Corleone says Nevada. Wow, a lot of disagreement here. Big L Corleone says Nevada not overrated. Trust me on that. Yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily about whether Nevada is overrated or not. It's much more about how motivated they'll be here. You know what I mean? And then about 10% about will this game be fixed or not? Probably not. But you know what I'm saying. It's just that I'm up. King Rail is on Nevada tonight and fading UNLV the rest of the season. I mean, obviously Nevada's a much better team. I'm just not totally sure that they're going to give it their all to cover a 20-point spread, considering the injuries issues that they do have. And I do think that San Jose State is going to give their best shot here, as weak as that shot might be. Right?
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yep.
Interesting. Underdog Status says Nevada has injuries.
Yes. Jeremy M says, yes, Pete, do it all in caps. Robbie Tagaloa says 21.5 is too many points. S.J. Shark Ruiz says San Jose covers first half but gets their ass kicked in the second half. Pretty much been like that all season. Yes, I was thinking about doubling up on this one and taking San Jose in the first half as well. And I might do that one, actually. Kilted Chimp like San Jose plus the points, and Flipper like San Jose plus 22 as well. Again, though, we were in the best company you could possibly want to be in with that Alabama A&M game, right? Best company you could want to be in. Guy who goes to Alabama A&M comes in and says, don't do it, and they didn't cover. Here we go. Ton of people we respect, all liking San Jose State, except for King Rail and a guy who goes to friggin' San Jose State.
I hear you.
Motherfucker. All right, I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it, though. I'm going to take it. All right, let's go to some other games. Other people were talking about Bradley. I don't know if you looked at that one, but I did bet that one as well. Maylos Paylos Way likes Bradley, and a lot earlier I saw some people saying that they liked Bradley, too. Did you get a chance to look at that game, Jimmy the Bag?
No, I haven't looked at the Bradley game yet.
Yeah, I bet that one at 6. That is now down to 5 or 4.5. You know, these points matter, especially in this range. You know, a lot of times when you have a road team, they'll lose a game by like 5 or 6 or 7, and it matters whether you bet it at 5 or 6 or 7. I bet it at 6, but I will give Bradley right now at plus 5. Bradley plus 5. The best line will be minus 110 currently at the Greek and bet 365. Then another one right above it, Iowa State against TCU. Did you look at that game, Jimmy the Bag?
No, but initially it was another play, and I've got stars all over it. I meant to look at it this morning, but I was surprised by the line movement.
Why?
I just think Iowa State at home is in a really good spot. And,
so why were you surprised by the line movement? It's moved in their favor.
Sorry. In my thing, it started the opener on Sports SBR says plus 4.5.
Oh no! Well, maybe early.
And I was getting it at plus. There was plus 6s available this morning, and they've gone down to plus 5.
No. I bet this one on the overnight line at 6.5. I got it at plus 6.5, and it's now down to 5 or 5.5. Jimmy the Bag.
That's interesting because I have right here staring at the opener that says plus 4.5. Does yours not say the opener is plus 4.5?
No, my opener says 6.5, and it depends on what book do you use for your opener. One thing about SBR odds is you can customize it. One of the ways here, let me see. One of the ways you can customize it is you can customize which book shows the opener. I have Pinnacle showing my openers.
Okay, I feel you.
So I don't know where you what your book is customized. If that's why the opening lines, there will be a discrepancy. You can customize which book you want to show the opening line, and I definitely bet that one at 6.5. Once again, these can be key numbers in college basketball: 4, 5, 6, 7. Especially when you're taking an underdog that you don't necessarily expect to win, but just think they're getting a few too many points. So I don't like doing this again, but I will take it. I'll take Iowa State at plus 5.5 instead of the 6.5 where I bet them. Plus 5.5, minus 106. That's the current line at Pinnacle. The line has moved in our favor, Jimmy the Bag. You want to make a pick on any of these games, or?
Not though. I mean, we haven't got to the games that I've captained.
You do have a game that you want to give a pick on?
No, I mean I gave one pick already, and I'm not going to force picks right now. I've got games here that I'm ready to rock with when you're ready.
Okay, take a game that you think is interesting, Jim, whether you have a pick on it or not, that you looked at.
Well, if you want to go big schools or small schools, small school,
We want to go most interesting from a handicapping perspective.
I like Siena at home, but I know a ton of people that already have said that they like Fairfield, and a couple people have already on the chat. Siena coming off a triple overtime heartbreaker versus Monmouth. This line has already moved in Fairfield's direction, so Siena's getting more points. Are they at +4 yet?
Siena and Fairfield. Let me see. It's it's 4 or 4.5.
Wow. That's a lot. So I'm not going to make a move yet. Fairfield's won 5 of 7, coming off back-to-back wins over Marist and Quinnipiac. Fairfield defeated Siena at home earlier this year, 78-65. In that game, they only committed 6 turnovers. I mean, that's an aberration. That's not going to happen often. They were led by leading scorer Tyler Nelson, who put up 27 points. Also, Siena's 6'9" junior forward Evan Fisher just had a terrible day. Just an absolute 0 points, 4 turnovers in 24 minutes. In the 4 games since then, he's averaged 15 points a game. Siena had Fairfield in foul trouble and wasn't able to take advantage of it. Fairfield went small, and Siena didn't really know what to do. Trevor Loudon says, I'm avoiding Siena after they broke my heart in the Monmouth game. At 4.5, I think that's a really nice spot. Money Charts has Siena at 4. I'm going to take more time to really understand this line movement before I make a play, but I'm interested in Siena.
Yeah,
sure.
I looked at that game, and I had that circled as a game that I didn't know what I thought. A second half written all over it and deeper research written all over it to me, but clearly someone has done their deeper research before I was going to, and they like Fairfield.
Definitely.
They like Fairfield. Yeah. I don't know who that is, but I know what they like. All right, let's get to another game that I bet. Let's see. Another game that I bet. Yeah, there's a bunch of games. Well, I did bet. It's a little bit of a tricky one. I did bet Tulsa -1.5. That's still where it is, although it's creeping up a little bit. A bunch of places have to. Tulsa is a solid, scrappy team. UCF is excellent, right? That with Taco Fall out, they have really not missed a beat. Still a tough defensive team, still an impressive team. I just feel like the spot favors Tulsa a little bit, and one way or another, they pull out a win. I don't necessarily love this play. I'd rather be getting 1 than 1.5. But I bet it at 1.5, and that's it's a bet that I made, and it definitely would be a lean if I don't make it an official pick. What do you think about that game, if anything at all, Jim?
I've been surprised UCF stepping up without Taco. They have obviously getting their guard back. Last year's leading scorer helped a great deal. I'm going to spend more time on this game before I make a play.
Yeah.
But I did take a big look at, when I talk about Tulsa, I did take a good long look at the Tulane spot, which I hope we can get to.
All right, we can get to this one. All right, I will take Tulsa here, but I'm going to do a massively weak move. I'm going to take the money line instead of -1.5. It's just -123 at Pinnacle. I could see this one landing on 1 or 2, so I'm going to take Tulsa on the money line -123. That's the current line at Pinnacle. I bet it, and so I will give it as a pick. All right, so you looked at the Tulane game. Tulane against Wichita State. Wow, that's another game that I looked at. I'm like, I don't know what the hell to think about this one. Wichita State is obviously starting to play better, but the line has gotten bet down. It opened at 21. It's now down to 19.5. Jim, what do you think?
Well, both these huge dogs today presented, I thought, quite a bit of value, Tulane and DePaul. We've watched the market move a little bit in Tulane's direction, and then in DePaul, they've jumped all over it. That was a play to make at 5 in the morning and not make now.
Oh, DePaul plus the points?
Yeah.
I did make that play at 5 in the morning.
It was the play, and so much money went on them that the lines moved almost 5 points.
Wait, DePaul?
Yeah.
Are you talking about the total or the side?
The side.
No, what are you talking about? It's just it's moved 1 point. It opened at 20.5, which is where I bet it. Now it's 19.5. BetOnline has 18.5, but you can still get 19.5 at the Greek.
Okay, yeah, I saw it. That's nice. I saw it move bigger. But let's go with Tulane first.
Okay.
But then the DePaul game, I find both of them I find value with. The Shockers coming off their biggest win of the season, 76-72 victory at Cincinnati on Sunday. Snapped Bearcats' 39-game winning streak. Shaquille Morris went for 23 points, 13 boards against the Bearcats, named AAC Player of the Week for his performances in wins over Bearcats and Temple. Shamet is a beast, 19 points, averaging leads the AAC in assists at 5.2. Tulane's lost 5 straight, coming off the 68-63 loss at home to Memphis. But they have 5 players in double figures, 3 players averaging over 3 assists a game. They're led by 6'6" junior Melvin Fraser at 15.9 points. What up?
Sorry, I just there's a huge breaking news from King Rail, right?
Yeah, what up?
Didn't mean to cut you off, but we'll get to it. King Rail, it's exactly what I said off of Nevada bookie at Sportsbook is telling me Nevada is not looking to blow out, just looking to win without risking more injuries, which is exactly what I said they were probably going to do. Now we have King Rail coming in, giving King Rail, of course, in Las Vegas, right? King Rail lives in Las Vegas, telling us that a Nevada bookie at us is telling him that that's exactly what is likely to happen, which is also kind of an obvious no-brainer. Well, why would they care about winning this game by 25? Thank you so much, King Rail. That kind of, I usually clap at people saying the show is the best thing ever. You guys are awesome. But we do clap for information like that. That is so invaluable, Jimmy the Bag.
No question.
Thank you so much, King Rail. That's going to put me on the first half as well, probably. There you
makes
go.
Sense.
There you go. Sorry, was that an awkward just break in the action? It was just
no, it's all good, man.
All right, go ahead. Keep going, Jim. Keep going, Jim.
Well, Tulane continually gets beaten in the paint.
Yeah.
Shaquille Morris is going to be able to give them troubles, but is this too many points? The way I see it, I think this is too many points. I'm not going to make a move on this yet. I was hoping to hear what other people thought of this game. Flipper13 says Tulane plus 20 looks good. Charles Tapley said, I just bet my house on San Jose State.
Oh, good. Excellent. Smart decision. Smart. That's how you win at life, baby.
But you're right. The mistake I was making with the big line change was Georgia Tech spot, not DePaul. But we can get to that game after. I'm not sure what to do with this Tulane spot, but I don't think Wichita State beats them by 30 points.
Okay, before I get to my opinion on that one, I am making an official pick right now. San Jose State first half plus 12.5, minus 110. That is a market line everywhere. So now I have doubled up on this one. San Jose State first half plus 12.5. And to anyone who bets their house on San Jose State, I hope you all cash. All right. That game is a very, very tricky one. I still might be irrationally afraid of Wichita State, just because they're the Spurs in my mind of college basketball, year in and year out. They just are awesome when they're dead. How many times have we seen it where Wichita State's like a 15-point favorite, they're down by 8 with like however much time to go, and then out of nowhere they just rally back on like a 30-4 run, wind up covering the double-digit spread easily. Wichita State is just a scary team for me to bet against, Jim.
Well, we haven't seen that this year, though.
We've seen it a few times, but you're right. Not that much. Very rarely. Right. They're not like in past years. Absolutely right.
They're not, and you would expect them to be. I mean, when you're last
so
year's leading scorer,
right.
Now as your sixth man, you'd be like, well, how is this team not better?
Right.
I don't think they're the dominant team that they were last year, but they're playing against tougher teams this year. But the DePaul situation, we know. I see that from a Villanova team. Villanova can turn it on in 3 minutes and go on a 20-point run. Villanova coming off a big 95-79 win at Xavier on Saturday night. That was a statement. That was a giant statement that they made. Bridges went for 25 points, 10 for 15 shooting. DiFrancesco, 21 points, 9 boards, 9 assists. He's gone for double digits in 17 of his past 18 since replacing Phil Booth in the starting lineup, averaging 17.3 points, 5.4 boards. And Booth has taken his cast off on Friday, so he's questionable to return tonight. But if he does, he'll only play a handful of minutes. DePaul is playing all these other teams tight, man.
Yeah.
And they play much better on the road than they do at home. DePaul's coming off an 82-77 loss at Seton Hall. That's impressive. Their 6'11 Croatian center went 10 for 12 from the field, 23 points versus the Pirates. And they're 3-4 in conference road games compared to 0-7 in conference home games. They have lost 15 straight to Villanova. In their first meeting this year, a 103-85 road win for Villanova. DePaul out-rebounded them 50-32. You know they're going to beat them on the boards here, but they committed 17 turnovers. This, to me, just feels like too many points.
I agree, Jim. I bet it at 20.5, and I'm thinking whether I want to double up on it, or because a lot of times these big dogs, as we've seen, but then again, Villanova has kind of a thin roster, so they might it might come late. I will look. I bet DePaul plus 20.5, and I will take DePaul here 2 ways. I do think it's a bit of a letdown spot for Villanova, and similar to the Nevada game, I do think DePaul is going to come in here and just give their best punch. You know what I'm saying, Jim?
I do too. I agree. I'm going to go on this game as well, full game.
All right. I'm taking DePaul first half and full game. The first half best line will be, it opened at 12.5. Best line now is 11.5, minus 106. And again, for the full game, 20.5 is not available, but 19.5 is. So let me just make sure that's still available. So I'm on the first half. Plus 11.5, minus 106. That is the current line at Pinnacle. And the full game, 1 second. Let me just make sure. Where is it? Yeah, 19.5, minus 110. That is the current line at the Greek. So Jimmy and I are both going to be on DePaul here. plus 19.5, minus 110. Okay, we're making great progress in this show, Jimmy the Bag. Let's quickly get some comments to see if anyone likes this one. Let's see. Anyone has any comments here? Let's see. Flipper also agrees. DePaul plus 20 or better. Yeah, I bet it at 20.5. I will give it at 19.5. Triple beams. Loshak, how did I not take Mississippi State last night? You capped it in one sentence. A lot of points to give to a good team. Yes. I bet that one. Had a nice winner with it. Lacked the balls to give it. I mean, I guess it got lost in the shuffle. But that was another friggin' lean that cashed that I didn't officially wind up giving. Jay Velarde says Nova gonna pound. I mean, at some point, at any point they can do that. But Jeremy M likes UNC minus 4.5. Bet is official. All right, let's get to some comments here. That let me see. Look at some comments. Look at some comments. Flu rumors. What is this? I hope they don't have the flu. Fuck them. That is a comment from Mutt Beast. Who's he talking about? Which team's he talking about? I don't know.
I think he's talking about the flu gate that we went through at Wichita State.
Okay, looking at this one. Money Chart says Loshak, if you want San Jose State as a free bet, I have 12.5 also for the first half. Yeah, which would be better there? I don't know. Let me just think about that for 1 second while I look for other comments here. Let's see. Oh, BMM likes TCU tonight. Okay, I'm on the other side of that. Let's see. Other comments. DJ Big Boss says, don't turn to the left, Pete. Your sunroof is open. DJ Big Boss, I think I look sexy. What can I tell you, man? I think this is a sexy look.
Looking
from
good.
the front, I look like Superfly. And then if I turn to the side, bam, sunroof. Bam, I think it's a sexy look. I mean, as long as the ladies don't mind, I sure as hell don't mind. Let's see. All right, what else do we have here? A
lot of talk about North Carolina game. It's a big game at Syracuse. Can we get into that?
Go ahead. Did you look at that game?
Oh, yeah.
Because I looked at that one. I was like, I don't know what I think about it, so I'd love to hear your breakdown. Go.
Syracuse is 0-4 when its opponents grab more rebounds than them. I was like, how is that possible? I had to go through their games. But, yes, they out-rebound almost everybody. But they've stopped as soon as they got into conference play. It's a conference, big, bad conference with lots of great rebounding teams, and Syracuse just isn't able to control everything. North Carolina, 11.7 rebounding margin, leads the nation. Right then and there, that says, man, North Carolina has an edge. North Carolina ranked second in the nation in offensive rebounding percentage, 30th in defensive rebounding percentage. Last year, North Carolina's 85-68 win over the Orange. They out-rebounded Syracuse 44-24. Now, you don't need to, it's tough comparing year by year. Isaiah Hicks, Kennedy Meeks are gone. And this Syracuse team has 6'8 freshman O'Shea Brissett, who brings down 9 boards a game. Also, in last year's battle, their 7'2" giant Chukwu was out of the lineup with an injury. Syracuse is coming off a very impressive 62-55 road win at Miami. They've won 3 of 4. North Carolina has won 5 straight and certainly looks like they are rolling. It certainly looks like they're going to roll right into the tourney. They just beat Louisville at Louisville 93-76. I watched that game. They looked very, very good. They out-rebounded Louisville 44-32 as per their season average by 12. You have to think with North Carolina's rebounding advantage that they will beat Syracuse here tonight.
Can they shoot over the zone? Can they hit from the outside?
Well, we know Luke can. We know he's been deadly from out there. But, yeah, you can't trust their guards to hit threes. That's been their problem this year, that you can't trust them to have strong perimeter shooting day in and day out. But King Rail says Syracuse on the bubble. This is a must-win for them. I agree. This is a huge, huge game for Syracuse. And that gave me hesitation, man. Al Max says North Carolina wins by 6+.
Every comment I'm seeing likes North Carolina here.
Dan Kelly says, I follow Q's closely. It's where I live.
Here we go.
And one of the few situations where Boeheim doesn't do well is as a small home dog.
Wow. Everyone is liking. I have not seen one comment, and I've been scanning. I guess for King Rail saying Syracuse on the bubble must win for them. But he's not saying he likes Syracuse. He's just saying he's totally off this game. I have not seen one comment here saying that they like Syracuse. I've seen about 10 or 12 or 15 comments saying that they like UNC. And even King Rail, who seems to be, the closest to making a bet on Syracuse, is just saying he's off of it.
Yes, I agree. North Carolina is the play here. Syracuse has to out-rebound teams. They have to. And now they're running into a team where they can't do it. Yes, it's a very tough place to play. We know that. But it's not like North Carolina doesn't have that kind of practice going into tough environments. I'm taking North Carolina full game.
Okay, sounds good. Fuzz Logic trying to trap us here. I'm late to the show. Did you guys cover NBA yet? That's not going to work this time. That has worked in the past. It's not going to work this time. All right, nice try, though. I love it when people try to get us. When people try to trick us. All right, so what do you want? UNC. Let me find the best line for you, Jimmy the Bag. It is headed up 4 minus 105. That's the current line at Bookmaker.
I am also a Syracuse fan.
Minus 105.
So this isn't the move that I wanted to make, but it's a move that I have to make.
All right, Pinnacle is headed up. It's 4.5 there, but Bookmaker still has a 4 minus 105. So we'll give you that line, the Bookmaker line. UNC minus 4 minus 105. There were some comments saying earlier that they don't like the Tulsa pick. That you certainly might just be Ryan Money. Here's a comment. Please stop with San Jose State. All right. We'll stop. We've stopped. I think Ryan Money thinks we're okay. We're being dumb there. But someone said that they disagree with my play on Tulsa, and I agree that is sort of a borderline pick, which is why I did an extremely weak move, which I was chastised for by Flipper, saying yes, taking the money line at minus 123 instead of minus 1.5 is a super weak move, and it is. It is. Flipper, if you're not familiar with how I operate, I am known to do some weak gambling moves more than once in a while, and this is another one that I'm doing. I might be on the wrong side there on Tulsa, but as of right now, that's what I'm going to take. I might revisit it and take it back in the 6 o'clock show, but we'll see. Okay, what else?
I want to talk about Georgia Tech at Virginia. So I was up very early. I could have had so just looking at the line, I was like, man, how do you not take Georgia Tech here? I could have done it. Now, the market has said, man, everybody was on it, but I didn't make the move. And let's break it down. Virginia just had a week off. Will they come in a little sloppy? Maybe, but they're going to be healthier. They bounced back after the 1-point loss to Virginia Tech by winning at Miami 59-50. Georgia Tech has lost 5 straight 9 of 10. They're coming off a 20-point loss at home to Virginia Tech. Now, if Jose Alvarado was healthy, they already lost Curtis Haywood, so they've lost both of their distributors. Alvarado and Haywood are both done for the season. So and then Ben Lammers has been slowed by an ankle injury this year. His numbers are down completely across the board from his junior year. So I could have taken Georgia Tech, and maybe I'll beat myself up later. But when I looked at this game, I thought, man, I think Virginia is going to slaughter these guys. Man, Jim, all the games you broke down are all the games that I was like, man, I'm staying off this or maybe revisit later. That one is, I glanced at it. I was like, these Virginia games, a lot of times, if I don't have a good feel for a certain team, I stay off it. And that's basically how I felt about Virginia all season long. But yeah, obviously a massive line move in Georgia Tech's favor. You want to make a pick here on that one, Jim? I tell you what. Okay. At 20, I wouldn't. But at 15, I will. And Spread King Dingaling says, too risky, stay away. This is where your losses come from. He did right. Loses comes from. You know what? This line has moved because people see that giant number and know that over 54% of the time the teams cover it. Nick Dial says, I don't know how Georgia Tech scores 40. They've lost their 2 point guards this year. Yeah, you know what? I'm taking Virginia on the full game. All right, Spread King Dingaling. That's we can make a song with that title in it. All right, you're going to take it. You're going to take it, Jim. I am. All right, let's get you the best line at least. That's the least we can do for you here. Minus 15, and that will be, let me find it. Let's line chop here. Minus 15, minus 110. Minus 15, minus 110 on Virginia. Jim is going to take it. All right. Jimmy the Bag. Some other games that I did bet on the overnight lines that I want to add on here, Jim. How about that? Let's do it. All right. I did take. Now these are going to be. I guarantee you that both of these plays, people are going to say, "No, Pete, don't do it. No, Pete, don't do it."
I did take Colorado State as a home dog against Boise State. Boise State obviously is a team that we respect tremendously. We know that, but they're giving a lot of points here at Colorado State, and I bet that one. I bet it at 7.5, I think. Now it's up to 7.5 or 8. I'm assuming you didn't look into that one, Jim. I know you have tremendous respect for Boise State, though.
I do. I love their perimeter defense, and we had them when they shocked everybody by beating Oregon, and that was the big statement game when they beat Oregon at home.
Just feels like a few too many points here, so I'm going to take Colorado State plus 8 minus 106 as an official play. Now, also, Jimmy the Bag, you know I've had a decent record timing covers, ATS covers, as a huge underdog with Pittsburgh, right? I mean, Pittsburgh is a terrible team, but they're scrapping, they're fighting. And now they're getting 10 points at home against Wake Forest. Wake Forest, a good team, well coached. I'm thinking this might be another spot, not necessarily to time an outright win by Pittsburgh, first win in conference play, but to lose by single digits at home. What do you think, Jim?
What's the line at?
Well, now it's up to 10. It opened at 9. Now it's up to 10. I'm not at all surprised by the line movement.
I feel fear just talking about the game, but you've had an excellent read on Pittsburgh this year.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to start with just the first half on this one, and then maybe I'll add on the full game after that. Pittsburgh has had some nice first half results and then gotten blown the F out. We know that Danny Manning is good at making adjustments. I guarantee you there's a cascade of no, Pete, don't do it's coming in right now, but I will do it just to start. Pitt first half plus 6. Minus 107. Let's see the cascades of no, Pete, don't do it's coming in.
They don't. It's
no?
Chris Kelly says, Pete, I like Pitt first half. Don't take the full game. Chris Kelly was also saying to me that the better play with Virginia was first half, a minus 9. Interesting. Elo Rodriguez likes Pittsburgh first half too.
Nick Dial says you cannot bat back Pitt. Well, you know, when people tell me I can't do something in life, you know what I say? I say, watch me. I just did it. I backed him on the first half. Plus 6. Parlay Pay P is I'm plus 6. I'm on it as well. Okay. All right. Nick Dials, they are so fucking bad. What do they have to play for at this point? Well, how about their first ACC win? Right? Yes, they're so fucking bad, but this, you know, it's a young team. They're awful. And now they have maybe their best chance at an ACC win all season long, right? At home, going against a, you know, more beatable team than anyone else they're going to play. I don't fucking know. All right. Dan Kelly's trolling us here. Pete, don't miss this. Late-breaking inside info. The Canadian women's hockey team just went on the rag. Their period synced up months ago. This is just going to make them meaner. He's he's trolling us, Dan Kelly. Is he?
He lives right on the border.
Is he trolling us or is he not trolling us, Dan Kelly? Dan Kelly, I like a good troll, but in the end, you have to reveal whether you're trolling or not because this show is about money in the end, right?
It is about money in the end.
So he thinks that's going to make them meaner. That means he wouldn't want to bet against them.
That does, yeah.
Yeah, I think that also, if it's true, would make them more aggressive on offense and probably a little bit more vulnerable on defense. I'm telling you, I like the over in this one, Jim. 4 minus 133. Jim, are you bored? What's going on with you, Jim?
No, I'm thinking about Virginia first half.
What's going on in that head of yours, Jimmy the Bag?
Thinking about Virginia first half. Is that the play?
I don't know. Young Jeezy says Wake is bad. Also, I am a season ticket holder to Wake Forest basketbal. Bet Pitt. There you go. Season ticket holder to Wake Forest basketball. Young Jeezy says bet Pitt. And and Almac says, seriously though, Pete, don't take USA women's team. Canada wins. Yeah, certainly not the current line. You know, I thought that USA would be a good pick at anything close to even money, but now into the minus 160s, I'm not going to do it. I did take the over on that one. Okay. Hey, Juanma, can we keep going because we got other games I want to get to?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, we'll wrap it up in like 5 or 10 minutes. Thank you so much, Juanma.
Let's go.
Crazy show going here. All right. G-Money NHL Top Shelf says don't take the over, Pete. Canada 2-0. I don't know. I think the U.S. will put up a couple of goals. They're getting a lot of shots on goal. They're working on getting a higher quality of shots. They put up 5 in their last game. I know that's a totally different situation, but I think look, if you get 2 goals each, you're getting a guaranteed win if it goes to overtime. I hear you. I hear you, G-Money Top Shelf. I'm just taking it. It's just one pick there. All right, let's get to some other games that I definitely wanted to give before we wrap this shit up. I might throw on Pittsburgh plus 10, but I don't think that line's going to move we might see 10.5 by the 6 o'clock show. So I'll hold off on that one for now. Just on the first half. Other bets that I made, I did bet UNLV at home over Fresno State. That's a little bit of a tricky one because Fresno State is a quality team, a great team. I don't like to bet against them, but I think it's a spot where UNLV is more likely than not to get a win. I did bet it at -1. And here's another one. I'm going to do another weak-ass move here. Instead of taking -1.5, I'm going to take the money line at just -118, though. So that's not that bad of a line. I'm going to take UNLV weekly money line, -118. That is the current line at Pinnacle. I'm taking that one. Other bets that I made. Colorado's an interesting bet against USC. As you know, Jimmy the Bag, you liked USC because Boatwright was back, and you were dead on about that one. Now he's gone.
Gone for the rest of the year.
What a tough break, huh?
It is a tough break, and I've been sitting here humming and hawing, and Chris Kelly came in again, and I agree with him. And I think that I'm using the line movement in my favor now. And obviously, I've had a tough year in NCAA basketball, but I do believe I'm using the line movement in my favor, and I'm adding on Virginia first half.
Really? All right. Let's line shop. Let's line shop for you, Jim. Whether you're having a tough year or a good year, using line movement in your favor or against you, always essential to line shop, and SBR Odds is the perfect tool for that. Let me find you the best line here. Virginia first half, -9, -104. -9, -104. Virginia first half, -9, -104. All right, a few other plays that I bet that I was thinking about. Interesting stuff here. Okay.
Flipper has season tickets to UNLV.
And what does he say?
He just wrote, and ...
They went... Come on, go! Now these people are fucking trolling us. They're fucking with us. Come on, Flipper, don't fuck with me. Come on, look what I have to deal with every day. Don't fuck with me. Take it easy on me, pal. Come on, what do you think? Marcus Colon says Louisville and Duke under 157 points. I did not look at the total on that one, but I was thinking that Louisville might be a play here. Flipper says don't be a chicken shit. LOL. Okay, I'll try not to be. I'm trying not to be. I was thinking that Louisville. We know that Duke's doing well with the leading scorer out. Louisville had those sanctions come down, right? They had to vacate their 2013 results or whatever. Deng is back for Louisville. I was thinking that Louisville on the first half or the full game. It might be a game where they play closer than expected. What do you think, Jim? Psychologically.
I like where you're at with this. I really like where you're at with this.
Yeah. I'm going to throw that one on there. I'm going to start with the first half, and I might take the full game later on. But let me find the best line for Louisville. I will take Louisville on the first half, and I did bet this one. It is 6.5. So I'm going to take Louisville first half plus 6.5. Best line will be -108. And I would be leaning on the full game as well.
What are you getting on the full game?
The full game would be 11.5. I did bet that one also. I did bet it, Jim.
I think that's a good spot.
Yeah, not bad, right?
I really
Think about it. Think about whether you want to tail that, Jim, while I look at some other games here, okay?
Elio Rodriguez says Louisville's a good play, Pete.
Yeah. I think I might double up on him and take him on the full game as well. Another game that's very interesting, Loyola, Illinois against Southern Illinois. Now, Loyola and Illinois, awesome, right? And undervalued. They continue to be undervalued. Southern Illinois, good. They opened at +3. I was thinking that if the line went up to like 5, I would take a shot with Southern Illinois, but it's gone the other way. It's now down to 2. I don't know. I'm not going to take it. If anything, I might be thinking about a Loyola, Illinois, but that's an interesting game. I did also bet Illinois State at home against Drake. This one I'm not going to take on the money line. This one I think if Illinois State wins, they probably win by at least a reasonably comfortable margin. Let me see what the money line is here for Illinois State. Yeah, it would be -160, or I could take a -3, -115. I'll just take that one, -3, -115 at the Greek. Illinois State -3, -115. I might throw on the first half on that one as well later on, but for now I'll just take the -3, -115. I bet that one. Bradley, I gave that one. What else? Again, I told you I have a lot of picks in college basketball today, Jimmy the Bag. A lot of picks. We're going to wrap this up very soon, but I'm just scanning over to see what other picks I want to throw on there, Jim. Any other thoughts or comments or anything?
Yeah, Triple Beams likes Louisville too. I think you guys are on the right spot there. I really do. I think this is a bounce back spot. Feels like the world's sort of against them right now. And
Duke is, they've been playing well with the leading scorer out, but at some point that will matter. And here they are, a double-digit favorite. And Duke, we've seen them time and time again be overvalued this year, right, Jim?
We absolutely have, and we will always see that. Wow, I think it's the right play. I absolutely think that's the right play, but I'm going to
wait and look into it.
I'm just going to study it more before I make it.
Okay, yeah, the line might go up. You might get 12 or 12.5 by 6 o'clock. I also bet Kansas State at home against Texas. I have tremendous respect for Texas. I love Shaka Smart as a coach, but I feel like this is a decent spot for Kansas State, so I bet that one. I'll hold off on that one for now, but I definitely bet it. And also, I bet Tennessee at -5. It's now down to -4. I think, Florida is a very up and down team. They can get big road wins unexpectedly and also not show up. I like Tennessee. We like Tennessee in general. And, I kind of like Tennessee here at -4 in the first half. Again, I'll keep those as leans for now. I might throw them on as official picks in the afternoon show, but that's definitely a bet that I made. And I think that might be about it. I think I've touched on everything, Jim.
Yeah, I think that is about it. Did you touch on the Xavier-Georgetown game? Do you have any leans?
No.
I'm going to study that very hard.
I was thinking my lean was Georgetown. Obviously earlier in the year, Georgetown was a team with a lot of holes, a team you wanted to auto-fade, but they've strung together some nice performances recently, and now they're getting, big points at home, relatively, Xavier, can go off at any point, but again, they're off of they're off of a big game. Now they're coming in here laying big points against a scrappy Georgetown team. This one I just have to look into a little bit more because I'm not exactly sure how much of Georgetown's recent success was a little bit fluky or whether they turned a legitimate corner. And that would be something that you might be want to look into, Jim.
I will, absolutely. Now, I think this just nailed it for me. Marcus Cologne comes in and says, Mark Lawrence, who is a thoroughbred handicapper like myself, loves Louisville.
Loves Louisville, yes. Yes,
wow.
I'm thinking about whether I want to double up on it. I've already given it as a first half play. Mutt Beast, who is was also a handicapper that we respect. This is the game Duke covers when looks too big. Duke wins.
We expect his capping, not his
yes, right. He's a math major, not an English major. Yes.
Chris Kelly says Xavier's low-hanging fruit, boys.
And then right before that, Al Mack says Georgetown wins a close one. I assume he means straight up. DJ Big Boss says, did y'all talk about Virginia? Yes, Jim spazzed out about that game for about 8 minutes in a row. That was in the middle of the show, DJ Big Boss. You should watch it. It's pretty funny. It's always kind of fun to watch Jim with his baby face spaz out about a play. You know what I'm saying, Jim? It's entertaining.
I think I'm using the market to my advantage.
Yes, Jim is using the market to his advantage, like an infomercial would recommend him do. All right, let's see. Okay. I think let's just wrap this up. Obviously, we're back at 6 o'clock Eastern time where we will analyze all these college basketball games, a whole lot more, add a bunch of plays. I'm probably going to wind up converting a bunch of my leans on these sides to official picks. Also, I'll look at all the totals. It's entirely possible that I'll have 20 or 25 totals plays as well. I might wind up with 50 plays in college basketball today, Jim. I already got like 15 or 20 here.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's an exciting day. Hal Abraham says Matt Scott out for the season, confirmed.
Yes.
Right. Very interesting. So, Elio Rodriguez said Virginia Tech's my strongest play, and then Virginia.
I didn't even talk about that one. Virginia Tech is also a bet that I made. Yes.
You did make Virginia Tech.
I did bet Virginia Tech. How did I miss that one? Where the hell is that game?
Clemson at Virginia Tech.
Against Clemson. I bet it at 3.5. Now it's up to 4. Let me check the money line to see if that might be a temptingly weak thing for me to do. Virginia Tech. Where is that one? Yeah, it's minus 178. Minus 178. Let me think. I had a winner taking Florida State on the money line, not the spread against Clemson recently. Yeah. Let me think about that one. I do like Virginia Tech here. I got it at 3.5. It was borderline for me at 3.5. Now it's up to 4. I will. I'll make Virginia Tech a play. And I will take them weekly on the money line, minus 178. Virginia Tech money line, minus 178. That is the current line at Pinnacle. And again, minus 4 is the spread line. I bet them at 3.5, and I will give them on the money line, minus 178. All right, now let's wrap it up, Jim.
Let's do it.
We'll be back at 6 o'clock Eastern time.